What a spot to have a morning cup of tea. Absolutely beautiful. My name's Perry. I'm a 64-year-old Englishman and I love fly fishing in wild places. And that's why I've come to Argentina, Patagonia, to explore rivers like this on my own. And I want to show you that you don't have to have lots and lots of money to do this. You can do this on your own. And I'm doing it with a packraft, which is a really small, lightweight, inflatable kayak. It gives me access to these beautiful, pristine rivers where I can fish, I can camp, and I can carry everything on my back. And for me, that's a combination that works really, really well. So this is how I've done it. Welcome to the River Aluminé. I arrived here last night. It's a place called Pilolil. This is the bridge at Pilolil, and I'm going to be floating and fly fishing for the next 6 days. I'm going to be going downstream and then getting out at a place called La Rinconada, where there's another bridge, and from there I can get a bus back to Junin. So let's see what the day brings. I thought you might like to have a look inside my tent. I've just had lunch and it's an incredible mess, as I'm sure you'll agree. So there it is, one very messy tent. Fishing wheel, cap and pawn. Nice airbed, love that airbed. I splashed out and bought a really expensive one and it's just been amazing, so I'm very happy with that. And then coming round to nothing much. But one thing that is quite interesting is, I don't know if you can see, there's a little green worm here. See that little tiny green worm? They're on all the trees around here, on all the willow trees, and they fall off the trees. Well, they eat the leaves, but then they fall off the trees into the river, and the trout absolutely love them. And I've got a little imitation and I'm going to try it sometime soon. I've got plenty of time. I've allowed 6 or 7 days to get down what is about, I think, about 70 or 80 kilometres. So good morning. It's day 2 on the Aluminé, and yeah, a nice little camp spot here, really nice, just tucked away under these trees. Still quite windy, so it's nice to be sheltered from the wind, and it's really nice being right on the water. I'm literally about, as you can see, next to just right by the water's edge, so that's pretty nice. Just one other thing actually, if you are ever considering floating down this river, the Aluminé, you should bear in mind that there is no mobile signal. So what I've done this time on this trip to Argentina just to be a little bit safer and everything else, is bring a little, one of these little satellite messenger things, and it just means that I can check in, I can send a message when there's no mobile signal via satellite, obviously, at any time. So there's a little set check-in message saying I'm okay, don't worry, and I've got that set up for my wife Fiona. So I just pop a little message to her every day, and then everything's good. And then the other really important thing is that if I did get into some kind of trouble and I needed an SOS message, then you can do it via this, and it goes to the emergency services via the Garmin people, and they will then pick it up and they can basically come and get you. So worst case scenario, because there's just nobody around here at all. The water upstream looked inviting, so I put my waders on and went to take a look. My reward was this small but beautiful brown trout, tucked into the bank not far from the fast water. I was using my 6-7 weight rod, an intermediate line, and the fly was a size 6 black woolly bugger. I was soon all packed up and ready to go, with my backpack tied down, my day pack underneath and solar panel on top. Today, the sun has come out now. It's blue sky. It was a really cold night. The temperature drops. It was so cold. I was only just warm enough in my sleeping bag last night. But anyway, now it's really, really warm again. As soon as the sun hits, it just feels lovely. And I just had a visit from a guy on a horse with 2 dogs. I would say Mapuche. Mapuche is the land that, particularly on this side ahead of me, and Mapuche is the indigenous people. Such a shame that I couldn't speak Spanish to him. It was just, I had so many questions I'd love to have chatted to him about. Good morning. The sun is shining as usual, but the wind has dropped, and it's the most beautiful day, and it was the most beautiful day when I looked out of the tent this morning. Absolutely still, shimmering water. Yesterday was it was a pretty good day actually, and good fishing. Caught 3 fish. I fished 2 different areas. The fast water just near where I camped yesterday, and then I came to a bit of the river which I could not help but stop at, and then I walked out onto that little bit of gravel, and beyond the gravel was the perfect, fast white water, foaming water, just dropping into a nice little deep run. Caught 2 fish, a nice rainbow and a smaller brown, just from that water just below the fast foamy white water. So good fishing yesterday. And this place here where I'm camped is like a little beach, a little seaside resort. I've got my little bit of sand. I went for a fantastic swim, or dip stroke swim this morning, which really has set me up. Crystal clear and just lovely to swim in the river. Absolutely gorgeous. One other thing that you need to do before coming along on a trip like this in Argentina is buy a fishing license. They've got this great law here where all the rivers in Argentina are accessible to the public. They can't be privately owned. They are basically public and for the people of Argentina to enjoy, which is fabulous. And one of the reasons I enjoy and I like to come to Argentina. And the great thing about this route is that there are buses at both ends, public buses. So it's really accessible. Anybody could do this. And it's not too hard. There's one or two places, in fact it's mainly really flat. There's just one or two places where there's a little bit of white water, so accessible, really easy, and I thoroughly recommend. Buen dia, another beautiful day. So I'm making good progress down the river here. This is the 5th day of paddling. Just to give you an idea of distances, I'm really taking it easy. I'm only paddling for about 3-4 hours a day, I'd say max. I think I'll either do one more day after today, or 2 maybe. I've got buses booked for both days, so it doesn't matter, I've got a bit of a contingency. Yesterday was in many ways for me a perfect day. Absolutely beautiful. It was very chilled. The campsite and the position it is in turned out to be absolutely spot on. I found a little path just behind the campsite and explored upstream a little bit. Didn't catch any fish, but had a really good clamber over the rocks. And then came back and it was very still and very warm. And had something to eat and then just had a Argentinian style siesta under a tree. It was just too warm and too tranquil to do anything. Yesterday was an incredibly windy day on the river. Luckily the wind was behind me, so I absolutely shot down the river, but it was quite wavy at times, a little bit alarming. I decided not to press on really because I thought the wind was getting a little bit too strong. So stopped fairly early, found a nice camping spot just here. Beautiful spot actually, unfortunately pretty windy. But I'm going to try a bit of fishing and see how that goes this morning. So in terms of fishing, I've basically been using this 7-weight rod with this is an intermediate line, and I'm using mainly using a black or green fly, woolly bugger, pretty standard streamer, so fishing it, in the fast water, and this seems to do the job really, seems to be absolutely fine. And it's my last day, so one more night and then on the bus tomorrow. Watching the sun come up was pretty amazing this morning, and it's been a fabulous 7 days on the river Aluminé. It was going to be 6, but it's now turned into 7. I've taken it easy, and yeah, it's a beautiful river, absolutely gorgeous. I've camped in some lovely spots, and the fishing's been good. So now I'm just going to pack up the tent, paddle the last couple of kilometres, I think it is, 2 or 3 kilometres, and then get out at the bridge at La Rinconada, and I'll either hitchhike or catch the bus back to Junin. And that's some very noisy birds going past. Beautiful bird. I think it might be it looks like a stork actually. I don't know whether it is. White, quite distinctive, being chased away by 2 other birds. Anyway, it's been beautiful. And see you on another one. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Somewhere in the distance, the Limay River, my destination. The bus dropped me at Piedra del Águila, and from here I had a lift to the Martinez family campsite. Probably my favourite river. The Limay Medio has been created by a huge dam that provides energy for millions of homes across Argentina. It also provides a rich aquatic habitat for trout, and that's why I'm here. After 2 nights on the campsite, I set off downstream with enough food for 6 days. That afternoon, the wind really started to blow. Luckily, it was behind me, so I made good progress. But the wind was so strong that I stopped early. Hopefully it would drop the next day. Once the tent was up, there was time for one last look at the river. I didn't sleep very well. It was very windy, but today the wind has dropped, but it's grey. It's been blue sky up until now. Yesterday was over 35 degrees, really hot. So anyway, I've had a good breakfast, my usual, porridge, cup of tea, and now I'm gonna tidy up and maybe do some fishing. So I've been fishing this morning, just upstream, just up there a little bit. The water's quite fast and I think deep in the middle, and I was just fishing to one side and I caught a nice rainbow, which was great, and I nearly caught a very beautiful brown trout, but just as it was coming to the net it wriggled off and was away. One other thing that's nice about this campsite is that is the smell. There's fresh mint growing. Yeah, that's mint, and it's growing all around in the grass here. I think you can see it just behind me too, and it smells lovely. So I think I'll give it a try one day in a mint tea. Why not? Good morning. That was my second night under canvas, and I'm here on a little island not that far from where I was last night, maybe just 5 or 6 kilometers. I felt tired actually when I woke up this morning. I didn't go far yesterday, but I guess the sun. It got pretty warm yesterday afternoon actually, and I paddled for maybe 2 or 3 hours. Anyway, first day on the river, I guess I'm just getting used to it. So I felt tired, but I feel much better now. I had a good afternoon yesterday. I stopped once on the way down and had a fish in a very beautiful little, quite a narrow, fast bit of river. It was very hot, but there was a beautiful rainbow, maybe that kind of size, which I caught in the fast water, just where you'd expect to find a rainbow, and caught and released that fish. And then I had a second fish from exactly the same area. So beautiful little bit of fishing, but slowed me down obviously a bit in terms of, you know, getting down the river, but that's absolutely fine. So here we are. I'm going to try fishing here on the island. I'm not absolutely convinced that how good it's going to be here, but I'm going to be wrong. It's, as you can see, maybe the water's slow and it's still beautifully clear, but I'm not sure. So anyway, we shall see. I fished for a few hours without much success, just the one small brown. I also lost my net, so I'd have to learn how to land a fish with my hands, which I'd not done before. That afternoon, the weather got worse. And then this happened. Good morning. Just had my third night camping, and I had a bit of a problem. Well, I was quite upset really, because I was putting the tent up last night and I broke one of the poles, or one of the poles broke. So, and then of course it started to rain, or just spattered with rain, and I was rushing didn't know what to do. Anyway, I got it all up, as you can see behind me. It's just got one pole, but I managed to get the fly sheet over the top. And it's actually fine just with the one pole, and in the night it was, you know, it's just a little bit saggy. I thought I'd just talk about one thing that I've learnt on these trips to Argentina by the river with the camping that's helped me, and that is the business about charging your phone, or in my case camera equipment, drone, etc. as well. Obviously no power, I'm away for 6 days. So what I bought was I brought with me is a little solar panel, like this one here. Pretty small, pretty light. You stick a power bank in the back. You can't just put your phone straight in for some reason. You have to put a power bank in there. But anyway, just plug it in, and then it charges pretty well. It charges well if the sun is shining, and slowly if it's not shining. Good morning. Just woken up and it's the most beautiful day. Absolutely full sun coming at me. Right by the river here. And the tents last night was actually pretty good. I'm so happy. I've taken the broken section out. So I've got one short pole and one long pole. Put them up, wasn't sure if it would work. But it's much better, it's working. So that's excellent news. So yeah, I had a good night's sleep last night. Little visit from the cows. This is a cow area. They came down 3 or 4, mother and calves, and I know that you have to be a little bit careful with that. Also, one of the mothers with quite nasty looking horns. Anyway, they were completely peaceful. I just went about did my normal stuff, and they were happily grazing, eating the flowers and bits and bobs, and eventually they wandered away and I had my tea. So that was good news too. So there we are. I've just caught a fish at this absolutely beautiful spot just behind me. Hopefully you can see the water is sort of slows up a bit, and it's just next to the fast current. And I thought, when I saw it, this looks absolutely the kind of spot where I'd expect to find a fish. And just after a few minutes, I got a lovely rainbow, decent sized fish, and I landed it just on the grassy bank just over there and returned the fish. So feeling pretty good. Just love this spot here. It's exactly what I was hoping to find. A little bit of grass and vegetation, I suppose that's good for the fish, for feeding bugs and insects. So that's great. I'm going to go back to the campsite, brew myself a freshly made coffee, and just sit back and enjoy the moment. There's one other thing, that if you are thinking of coming to this area and fishing the Limay Medio, you should just be aware that there's a dam upstream and they release water quite regularly actually. When you're just below the dam, there's a siren and it sounds and you know it's coming. And even down here, I'm probably 3/4 of the way to Patagonian, I can see that the water level has gone up and down. You can see by the green grass by the river. The reason that's important is just quite simply for camping. I'm just always looking whenever I choose a campsite, I'm just looking to make sure that I'm maybe on slightly raised ground or not literally right on water level.
After lunch, I paddled for a while until I reached this shallow gravel bank. The water was quite fast and deep to one side, and I caught a beautiful rainbow and lost another near the trees. My final night on the Limay was spent on an island opposite these cliffs.
This is my last day on the Limay. I've paddled from Piedra del Águila, I'm not sure that's how you say it, the Martinez campsite just below the dam, and I'm just about a couple of kilometers away from Patagonian, where you can get out of the river. There's a little campground, but I'm going to get picked up and taken back to catch the bus. It's been a great few days. The weather was a little bit mixed at the beginning, which with the strong wind wasn't fun, but that's cleared up. You can see today another beautiful day, and of course the packraft has worked fantastic this time. Absolutely no problems at all. Even in the strong wind, it's pretty tough, to be absolutely honest. It's really not going to let you down if you just master the paddling technique. One other little tip that I would pass on to anybody exploring these rivers in Argentina or anywhere wild, to be absolutely honest, where there's going to be limited mobile signal, and I didn't realize this, I didn't know that you could download Google Maps and save them offline, and so even if you don't get a signal, you can basically get that little tracker mark that shows you where you are.
One of the things I really love about this river is the way grasses and flowers become submerged with the rise and fall in water levels. You get these beautiful water meadows, and I hope all this goodness flows back into the river and nourishes the fish.
I'm just back from fishing and just had an absolutely fabulous time. Just had a magic 45 minutes fishing in the slow water towards the cliffs. and caught 5 or 6 brown trout in about 45 minutes. So yeah, it's been absolutely fantastic 6 days on the Limay Medio. I'm really sad to leave now and I can't wait to be back. So here we are. This is where the adventure begins. This is the gate, the final gate that takes me down to the Caleufú River, which is where I'm going to start my epic float. It feels very wild and remote, and it is. About 30 kilometers of dirt road I've just come down, and luckily got a lift, and before that there was a bus. I'm very hot, I'm very tired, I've just walked about 2 kilometers. It sounds nothing, but in this heat with about 25 kilograms being carried, it was tough. Anyway, done. Hopefully I'm nearly there. It's an amazing spot and it's incredible to be here. I've wanted to visit this river and float down it for quite a while now, but I've never figured a way of getting to the top end, which is where I am now. And the plan is to float down. I'm not sure how far it is exactly, at least 50 kilometers. I do know there's nothing between here and where I'll take the pack raft out at the bottom of the river. There's a lovely fishing pool I know just downstream of here. I had a look last night. I'm definitely going to have a look in there.
I was sure there was a fish here, but didn't get anything, so tried a black woolly bugger. Still nothing, but what a beautiful spot. I carried on downstream in search of the brown trout that the Caleufú is known for. I wasn't sure about this weedy section of the river, but thought I'd switch to a floating line and small nymph and give that a try. My first Caleufú brownie, not the biggest, but beautifully marked.
Well, I've just arrived after my first day on the River Caleufú, and I'm going to stop here in this beautiful camping spot quite early, enjoy the late afternoon sunshine. It's been a fabulous day actually, quite tough. I had to walk through quite a few patches of white water. There were just too many rocks to go down in the pack raft, and I did go down a few other bits which was a little bit hairy, got a little bit wet, quite a lot of water in the boat, but I just bailed that out afterwards. Packraft is doing really well, I have to say, because I've bumped the bottom a few times. But if you like fishing in wild places, then I would really recommend this place. There's absolutely nobody around, absolutely nobody on the river obviously, there are no roads near here, nothing on the banks, it's just wilderness. So What a fantastic introduction to the river Caleufú. Good morning, and it's starting to warm up. Looks like it's going to be a nice day. I've discovered there's a little dirt road actually just by the river here. I can't believe there is. It must be a I don't know, ranch road or whatever. Just have a little look downstream and see what there is, and then I'll know what I'm up against when I get packed up shortly and go on my next stage downstream. I'll try and do about 10 kilometers a day, so if I do that over 5 days, 5 or 6 days, then that should get me to the end of the river. So anyway, hopefully the wind, which is low at the moment, it's pretty still, fingers crossed that wind does not get up, and yeah, it'll be a good day. Good morning. The sun's just coming through. It's surprisingly cold in the night. Last night again was really quite cold. This is the only top I've got, and actually I nearly brought a fleece top as well, but then I thought surely I'm not going to need it, but actually I could have done with it. I'm just about warm enough. But had a good day yesterday. Didn't come down the river that far, just took it easy, had a nice fish in the morning and caught a nice brown trout on just a little hare's ear nymph. Very simple. I've got my dry fly rod out and I was just popping a little fly into the fast water, picked up a nice brown and lots of little baby rainbows. There's lots of little tiny ones, which I guess is a good sign for the river. They must be reproducing. And then stopped at a beautiful pool, really deep. I thought there's got to be fish here, and I'm sure there are fish, but had absolutely nothing. So it just shows you, I don't know, maybe they're at the bottom, I don't know. Just one thing about this river which I'm now getting used to, I'm feeling I'm getting to know it now. There's quite a few rocks. I mean, you can see the kind of large rocks here which are also in the river, and then there was one place where it was definitely the water was too quick for me and it was narrow, and I just walked round. Absolutely no way I was going to pack raft through there. I'm going to explore that little bit of water. Just, I think you can hopefully see behind me, it just curves round and there's these boulders in the river, and I haven't really fished a bit like that on this river over the last couple of days, so I'm going to give that a go and yeah, see what it's like. Good morning from a beautiful campsite. It's another one used by guides. It's obviously set up by guides. There's a fire pit over there and it's all being cleared out a bit, but there's nobody here. I don't know if they're floating down this river at the moment. Maybe it's too low. I certainly haven't seen anybody. Anyway, the big news from last night is that I have broke my fishing line on this rod here. So basically the line just snapped off when I was fishing just up here, and I caught a fish and I was reeling it in, a nice rainbow, and I got it and I released it, and then I just looked down and I realized that my line had snapped. So that's bad news, because I don't have another of these lines. So that's it for streamer fishing. I'll think about buying another one if I can, I'm not sure. But luckily I do have a second rod, and it's my lighter, smaller 8-foot trusty. I've had this for absolutely years, maybe 20 years. 8-foot rod with a 4-5 floating line, so I use that for dry flies and nymphs. So from now on I'll use this.
A lot of the river is quite shallow, especially at this time of year. I learnt later that guides don't float the river after December. It's worth remembering if you want the river to yourself.
I'm actually near the bottom of the river. I've made better time than I thought, and I'm maybe only, I would say, 4 or 5 kilometers from the bottom of the river, which then empties or combines with the Collón Curá river, and it becomes very wide and like a lake, and that's it, that's the end of the river. Lovely camping spot again. I like to have a view, and I've certainly got one today. Yesterday, I had a really good day actually. Yesterday I caught the biggest brown trout I've ever caught. Good size. I just thought I would try, because I was catching smaller fish, I'd try somewhere where it was deeper water, slightly stiller. It was a bit of a canyon, and I tied on a black, decent sized woolly bugger fly, which I thought a larger fish would maybe go for, and sure enough, one did. So it was it was a special day for me in terms of fishing. Beautiful brown trout. I hope it was okay, because it took quite a long time to recover in the water, and then he slipped away. So fingers crossed he was okay. First thing I do every morning when I get up, if it's a sunny day like today, is reach for the solar panel so that I get maximum charge, get it charging as soon as possible. And it seems to withstand a fair bit of water. It's been splashed when I'm on the river a fair bit, no problem at all. Just seems to carry on working. So that's something that I would highly recommend. I'm gonna get into my waders and try fishing this area. The water here, just right here, looks pretty good. It's a little bit deeper, and see if I can get another one of those beautiful Caleufú brown trout.
I didn't catch a brown trout, but I did catch a nice rainbow, and of course missed another, which looked like an even better fish.
Another absolutely stunning sunny day. I think it's going to be really warm today. I think about 30 maybe. And my last full day on the Caleufú. Tomorrow I'm going to be heading back. And it's been a good few days. Yesterday, I suppose a highlight actually of yesterday really was I was out getting some drone shots in the morning, and this wild boar appeared just about 30 meters or so downstream and came into the river, starting to cross, and I had the drone up, so I've got a quick shot of it. But seeing the wild boar is a big old beast, I would say. In full daylight was pretty amazing. And I had a little walk upstream, which is nice, a little explore. Quite a lot of shallow water. I actually found quite a lot of this green weed, and I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's good weed, healthy weed for the river, or not. There's this stuff called didimo they have in Argentina, which is a bad kind of weed. I'd really like to know the answer to that one. The other thing I thought might be useful for anybody planning a trip like this is just let you know what my thinking was in terms of cooking gear. Essentially, I've got this just a little standard little stove here, cheap stove. It's designed to go not with a calendar like this, not with a container like this, not with a cylinder like this, but with a different type. But I know from past experience in Argentina that these cylinders are very common. You can get them in just about every supermarket. And I found on the internet a little adapter that means you can use them with a stove like this. So this is the little adapter, and it just screws on like that. It only cost a few quid. If you Google it, you will be able to find it. So I got that, and then that just clips onto this cylinder. So the only drawback is that the flame just is a little bit unreliable from time to time. So I'm not absolutely sure whether I'll do that again next time, but it does work, and it just means you can pick these up in any supermarket, and that all works well. And then the only other thing to say is that I've got this little windshield, which I really recommend. Didn't have one last time, and it makes a massive difference. I mean, it's so windy here, not today of course, but you know, there's often wind, and just pop it up. It's only lightweight. I think this one came from Decathlon, not expensive, and then it just means you can cook in any conditions. It just makes things really helpful. And then finally, my trusty titanium pot, which I cook everything in and I eat from. 900ml seems to be fine for one person. Really light, and just got to be a little bit careful you don't burn the bottom. But thank you, Ruth, for lending me this, by the way. It's great. I really recommend. I wasn't convinced. These are quite expensive, but they're great. I will buy one if I have to for myself, and works really well. Just cook everything in it, eat everything out of it that's cooked, and that's it, job done. So that's what I've gone for in terms of cooking gear. So I've just got, can I call it a fish of a lifetime? Really nice brown trout. Just beyond me, over my shoulder there. See where the water goes down, and then there's a pool beyond. And yeah, it's pretty amazing really. I've never caught a fish of that size before. And it was just on a tiny little nymph, beautiful bit of water, really clear, sort of greenish tinge. That's a pretty amazing feeling, to be honest, and in such beautiful surroundings. That was my last day on the Caleufú. A bit further downstream there's a public fishing access area where two young Argentinian guys offered me a lift. I decided that after such a perfect day it was time to say goodbye. So that's me done paddling. All packed up, nearly packed up, and I should say the pack raft has been pretty amazing. Packs to this, super light. That's probably not the best packed example. Really light, pretty small, and then you got the cushion as well, which rolls up pretty tiny. Of course, I've got my paddle here. That breaks down into 4 pieces, so that's really nice and tiny as well. And then the only other thing is the inflation sack, which is really easy to use and weighs nothing. So the pack raft has been really good on this trip actually. Most important thing, for the last 6 weeks, not one puncture, absolutely nothing at all. And I've given it quite a beating, to be absolutely honest. Some of the water's been quite shallow, so I've been over fast, shallow water, bumping the bottom quite a lot. It seems to have taken that absolutely no problem. So definitely thumbs up to this. For me, it's just worked fantastically well. It's enabled me to get, it's allowed me to get places I could never get to fish, really remote, way downstream, miles from other people. Just fantastic.
It felt good to be back at the campsite in Junin de los Andes, but I had some decisions to make. My phone had stopped working after it got wet on the Caleufú, and it was going to take a few days to get it fixed. That meant my final river trip would have to be a short one. I decided to paddle the top half of the Collón Curá, starting at the bridge where I finished on the Aluminé. Downstream from there, the Aluminé is joined by the Chimawin River, and together they form the Collón Curá. 3 days would get me about halfway down the Collón Curá, where I knew there was public access. There are no buses from there, so I'd have to hitch a lift back to Junin de los Andes. Hitchhiking is common in Argentina, by the way, and I've never had a problem getting a lift. Once in Junin, I'd pick up my phone, catch the bus to Bariloche, and then fly to Buenos Aires and finally London. But first of all, after a week on the river, I intended to enjoy some Argentinian beef and red wine. And it was good to catch up with old friends. My plan was to film the river with my drone only and return in 2026. That would give me a year to plan and to dream about fishing one of the most beautiful rivers in Patagonia.